A trial date now set for a man accused of killing a member of the Freemasons.
Robert Wise was shot outside the McAllen Masonic Lodge in July, and our Lily Celeste has been following this from the beginning. Lily, how is the family reacting to these new developments?
Rudy, Dina, Wise's family tells me they're taking it one day at a time, and they're honoring him through the driving school he started 4 years ago.
He saw the world in a very innocent way, a very joyful way.
That's how family remembers 55-year-old Robert Wise. He was a husband, a father, a friend, and a teacher.
At the end, it's amazing to see of everything he did and how many people he touched.
Wise was the owner of Wise CDL, a CDL training school in Edinburgh. His son is keeping the business his father started going.
If I don't continue, I feel it's an acknowledgement of me letting him continue to take from us.
The man charged in his death, Julio Diaz, was in court for a hearing today. Wise's family was there too. Feet from the stranger, police say, shot and killed their loved one. In court, Diaz's defense attorney asked the judge to use Diaz's mental health history as evidence, referencing medical records from multiple locations.
Some of them have come from Puebla. I believe that some will come from Burbank, California.
The attorney told the court once he has those records, he might ask the court to consider Diaz's mental capability to stand trial. The judge set Diaz's trial date for November 6th.
The person that did this to our family has already taken so much from us.
Wise's family is still healing, and they're hoping the court will bring them much-needed closure.
We know that justice is going to be given out the way it should be.
That trial date is subject to change, but before that, Diaz is due back in court on Tuesday for a final pretrial hearing. Live in front of the Hidalgo County Courthouse, Lily Celeste.
What they do is they love bomb you initially. They make you think that everything is wonderful, that you're perfect, that you're progressing marvelously, and then when your defenses are down, they attack you. They'll attack you verbally, and the entire weekend of the initiation was people being attacked and verbally abused by the Grand Master. We would have people perform degrading acts during these ceremonies. There was low-level torture going on. This is all by design because they're trying to attach demons to you. And one of the ways that you can bring demons in is by having someone experience sustained, stressful, traumatic events. And especially if you can do that repeatedly, it's almost like it creates fissures in your spirit that allow other things to come in to take root in you. These things had gotten hold of me. Because I came from an abusive background, I had normalized this kind of behavior. And they even told us that this was for our greater good, to bring us to spiritual elevation.
Good afternoon, my lovely butterflies. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. This is the Awakened Butterfly, and I am back with another video. If this is your first time coming across my channel, please stay for the entire video or check out some of my existing content. If you enjoy this type of content, please don't hesitate to subscribe. Peace and blessings, guys. I hope each and every one of you are having a blessed and amazing day. I pray that everyone's continuing to take care of themselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. I love you guys, and as always, the love and support that you show me on this channel is always greatly appreciated. If you haven't already, please hit that post notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a video. And guys, today I want to shed light on something that I feel many people wonder but never really bring to the forefront. There's a lot of times that targeted individuals are harassed by occult groups and organizations in their communities. But what does it mean when these occult groups target people in their own circle, in their own organization. I'm going to be very transparent and honest in this video, guys. And I will also be stating my own opinion as well as presenting actual facts that I found from research. In today's video, guys, I want to talk to you about the story of Robert Wise. And in this story, a lot of red flags and suspicions stood out to me. This is just my own personal opinion, guys. This case is still ongoing, and I just wanted to speak on it because I feel that there's a lot of secret things that take place with these secret occult groups, and they get away with it, and a lot of people would never suspect that it was them behind it because of the image that they present to the public. And I did write some notes down, guys, because I didn't want to forget anything. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. All right. I want to speak on the story of Robert Wise. He was a 55-year-old man out of Mission, Texas. He was known as a loving man of his family, friends, and to the people in his community. He was a 23-year experienced CDL truck driver. He later on took that experience to become a CDL instructor. He was also a mentor of his local Boy Scout of America troop. And he was also a 2-year member of the McAllen Freemasonic Lodge. Now, guys, I hate to say this, but I really don't hate to say this. There's nothing good about being a part of a sorority, a fraternity, or any type of Freemasonic organization. And I promise you, something's always going to happen when you're a part of these things. And I don't mean anything good. And if something is happening good in the beginning, it won't happen for long. Because these organizations set you up for spiritual disaster. They open up a lot of doors to demonic entities. And it's hard for a lot of people to believe this because these people in these organizations, they put up such a perfect image. Now, guys, it was said that Mr. Wise was shot and brought to his demise in the McAllen Lodge parking lot at nighttime on July of 2023, leaving an installation ceremony. And later on in this video, guys, we're going to talk about a little bit more about what an installation ceremony is. Now, the family of Wise feels that the negligence of security in the lodge and surrounding the lodge is what led to his demise. They feel that due to the high crime rate area that the lodge is located in, due to all of the verbal and physical threats that they have received, including attempted arson and vandalism, they feel that the lodge should have already installed some type of security of any kind. However, in the beginning of the year of 2023, it was said that the leaders of the lodge actually purchased a security system, but didn't actually install the security system until after Mr. Wise's demise. And that raised many red flags for his family. And just me listening to this article, guys, when I was reading it, it raised some red flags to me as well. Automatically, if they were in a high crime rate area, they should have already installed security cameras around the buildings, inside, everywhere. So I find that to be very suspicious, guys. However, not even barely, guys, I would say barely 48 hours within Mr. Wise's demise, they arrested Julio Diaz and charged him with the demise of Robert Wise. And this is because they got a tip from Diaz's friend, and he also shared some screenshots and messages with them between the two where he was confessing to what he was going to do before he even did it. Also, surveillance was pulled and obtained through law enforcement, and it actually showed Mr. Wise with a weapon in one hand and a camera in the other hand, recording him actually causing physical harm to Mr. Wise. He then took the video and uploaded it to his Facebook page. It was said that Mr. Diaz had a true hate for the Freemasons. He actually called them devil-worshipping Illuminatists, and he was also making several threats to them numerous of times. And he was specifically targeting the members of the McAllen Lodge for some reason. Now, guys, I am very against what these organizations do. I am not at all happy with what they do. However, I would never take it upon myself to bring any type of revenge to anyone that I dislike what they do. I feel that it's not up to us to physically attack these people. I feel that it's up to us to be aware of what's going on and to fight them spiritually. When you do things physically, it places you in a spiritual situation with God and with the enemy, because now you've let the enemy use you to do something very detrimental, and he's going to give you all the reasons in the world to justify why you did what they did. They worship the devil. They're Illuminatis. They're evil. You know, that might be the case. However, it's not up to anyone who's against it to take it upon themselves to cause physical harm to anybody, unless you feel threatened, physically threatened, that is. You know, if someone's trying to physically harm you, that's different. But just saying that you hate someone for whatever reason and feel like that's your justification to cause harm is diabolical. Especially when you record it and upload it to your social media page for everyone to see. That takes it to a whole nother level as well. And in my personal opinion, guys, it made me feel that as if he was trying to prove something to someone. As you know, he was presenting it saying, look, the job is done. And I don't know about any of you guys who's listening to this video, but it just gives the vibes of being demonically possessed, as if someone's controlling his mind. And I'm not making excuses for his behavior, but sometimes, guys, when people do outlandish things, you have to really sit back and ask yourselves, where is all of this stemming from? Now, guys, fast forward to January 22nd of 2024. Now, this marks the day of Mr. Diaz's first court trial. During this time, his defense attorney came forward and said that they didn't feel that he was competent enough to face trial at that time. They also revealed that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia in Mexico, and they had not yet obtained any records regarding this, you know, being able to prove this, because once they stated that he was schizophrenic and his medical records from Mexico proved this, the judge asked them for physical proof, and they told them that they didn't have it yet. Now, the defense attorney also teamed up with the prosecutors, and they then began to grant for the courts to get him psychologically evaluated. Now, guys, you know, I've done a lot of videos about gang stalking and targeted individuals and CIA mind control, things of that nature. And something in my spirit is leading me to believe that this is another result of that. You know, a lot of the times, these people, I'm not even going to say a lot of the times, I'm going to say all the time, they get people to do their dirty work for them. They orchestrate it and they get someone else to play it out. And this is to keep them looking innocent so they can continue to do these things. And usually the people that they use are, if they're not being paid and willingly doing it, they're being forced to do it. And when they're being forced to do it, they're even performing these demonic tasks against their own will. I really feel that this man is another CIA experiment. I feel that he was being used, he was under hypnosis, and they were using him to do something for them without it looking like they had anything to do with it. Just my personal opinion. As I finish the story, guys, you guys can make your own decision based on. Now, Julio Diaz's defense attorney filed a motion for them to hire a neurologist. This is because they claimed that Diaz was suffering from a brain cyst, an arachnoid cyst, that was actually pressing against his pituitary gland. And they needed to hire a neurologist to prove that once a cyst is pressing against your pituitary gland, being untreated for a long amount of time, it can actually affect your mental health state as well as your behavior. It also states that in 2019, Mr. Diaz was complaining of feeling dizzy and having symptoms of tinnitus. And if any of you are aware what tinnitus is, it's having the loud ringing in your ears. They determined this after giving Mr. Diaz a CT scan in Mexico. It was also reported from his medical records in Mexico that he had been suffering from this for a while, and it has been untreated. The defense counsel argues that since he was undergoing these health issues, that it could have well led to his behavior. He was also charged with the attempted arson on the McAllen Lodge as well. Guys, I'm going to get into my opinion on this a little later. Let me just finish presenting the information to you guys. Now, November 2023, the Wise family filed a lawsuit against the McAllen Lodge, claiming that the lodge had plenty of time to provide security for their members, and especially after receiving several warning signs. The lawsuit also states that the Wise family mentioned how leaders of the lodge should have put up proper lighting, security cameras, and any other kind of security system. They also stated that, as I said earlier, the lodge purchased security and didn't install it until after Mr. Wise's demise. Now, as of 2025, this year, court documents indicated that a settlement had been made between the Wise family and the members of the McAllen Masonic Lodge. It was not presented publicly in front of a jury. It was something that they settled behind closed doors. The Wise family was asking for a lawsuit of $1 million in damages. I'm not sure what they received. However, they kept everything private and secret. And I have my own thoughts on that as well. Comments made, guys. There were some comments that were made about fellow Master Mason. Fellow Master Mason Robert Wise, and one of his fellow members, which was also, as they call a worshipful Master Mason, Mr. Lopez. He has some things to say, and I'm going to read them to you guys. I got this information from krgv.com. It was an article, and they touched on this story. Mr. Lopez states that Mr. Wise would want everyone to forgive the person that harmed him, just as he would. So he's saying that Mr. Wise is a very forgiving person, and not only would he forgive the person who harmed him, but he would want everyone who was affected by this and who loved and cared about him to do the same. He also went to say, if I could sum up Robert Wise with one word, we could sum it up with the word love. He also went to say what Mr. Wise did to gain his status as a junior deacon means that he definitely proves that he was a true Mason, and he proved that he was going to be an example for other Masons. We knew that he was going to take his leadership position and that he was going to do good work. He says Mr. Wise was someone that everyone in the lodge looked up to, including himself. He also said, I became one of his teachers. I thought I was going to be teaching him, and he ended up teaching me. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and say this. You know, every time something like this happens involving these Freemasonic lodges, as well as these secret sacrifice ceremonies, when something tragic happens, they always try and make it seem as harmless as they can. Oh, he was a loving man. He would forgive his shooter and he would want you to do the same. This is to try and block everyone's mind, trying to turn a blind eye to what's really happening here, which was, in my opinion, a secret sacrifice for the organization. And Mr. Wise was attending this ceremony not knowing that it was the last time that he would see his family, not knowing that he was the secret sacrifice for the organization. He had only been a part of the organization for 2 years. And I've read articles, I've seen plenty of videos, guys, where a lot of these ex-Freemasons are coming forward and they're exposing these organizations, and a lot of them are admitting that they were unaware that the deity that they were worshiping was Satan. I'm going to place up here on the screen, guys, the actual deity that the Freemasons are known to worship. But they will tell everyone in public that they worship God, Yahweh, Yahshua. Many of them, they say Jesus Christ. That's not how I address him, but to each his own. But that's what they would say, but it's not true. I could go so deep into this, guys. Let's go ahead and get into what an installation ceremony is, because this is the ceremony that Mr. Wise was attending when this incident happened to him. It is called a formal event where new officers are inducted into their roles, often within organizations like clubs, associations, or religious institutions. Many organizations incorporate an oath that has to be taken in these installation ceremonies. They are then presented with different responsibilities and duties and rules that they must follow. You know, I'm going to say it again. Many people are getting in these organizations and they're not aware of what they're getting themselves into. It's because of the picture that has been painted. Everyone around them is telling them it's a great club to be a part of. They're seeing people in their communities that are part of these clubs and organizations, and they feel that they are elevating in life. They don't know that these people have a serious spiritual bondage with the enemy, and they are literally working for him. And in return, they feel that they gain all of this power and authority. And with that power and authority, and a lot of the wicked knowledge that they're learning through a lot of this witchcraft and whatever else that they're learning in these organizations, which is really dark and demonic, they have to give up something in return. And they don't only sacrifice the people in their families and people in their communities. Depending on the situation, they will sacrifice other members as well. And I feel that this also happens when they feel a fellow member is not going to fully abide by their obligations in their new position. And I'm not saying that this is why this happened to Mr. Wise, but it's possible, especially the way everything played out. This place is receiving all of these threats, all of these attempted arson and vandalism acts on the building. They're not putting up security cameras after all of this. Once it's time for one of their fellow members to be recruited into a certain position, they lose their life moments later. And then they install the security cameras. And then they begin to show deep concern about the situation. And then they go on to say how great this person was, how loving this person was. After, it's a possibility that they were the cause. You see it all the time if you really, pay attention to these type of things. People may kind of call me a conspiracy theorist. I'm always looking into these type of things because, number one, I am a targeted individual that has been targeted by occult family members that are a part of the Freemasons. So when I come into things like this, I like to bring it to the forefront to spread awareness because these things happen a lot and they are the least expected. These people, these organizations are the least expected when these things happen. They are seen as the most supportive, the most caring, the most concerned about their families and members in their communities. But yes, guys, I feel that it was a Freemasonic sacrifice ceremony. And I feel that he could have possibly been the offering to the deity that they serve. These secret rituals and these ceremonies, guys, whether it's a sorority, a fraternity, the Freemasons, Eastern Stars, whatever the case may be, they are demonic. These ceremonies are sometimes done right in our face, and they're connecting with the enemy right in our face, and they're worshiping him right in our face. And many glorify it because they feel that these people do no wrong. They feel that these people are great examples of what everyone should be or look up to. And with that being said, guys, I found another video that I was going to post it, but due to I don't want to overly expose certain people, so I did post, well, guys, this is my second time doing this video. The first time I was actually going to post the link in the description, but I decided not to upload that video and just post this video. And I'm just not sure about posting a video, guys. However, I came across a video where a man was initiating 2 new members in the McAllen Lodge. And he said that these 2 initiations were dedicated to Mr. Wise. And one of the red flags that stood out to me when he said that is, guys, I looked at the date that he posted the video. It wasn't even 2 weeks after Mr. Wise's demise. And it just seems very ritualistic, very demonic. And it seems that these people are playing chess with people's lives, and it's not funny at all. However, what really concerned me as well is that down in the comment section, there were so many men of all ages, young men, middle-aged men, older men, begging the creator of the video, which was actually a Freemason, by the way. They were begging him, asking him what they had to do in order to join. How can they sign up to be a Freemason? Many of them were also saying that they wanted to gain power and knowledge, and that they really desired to be a part of the Freemasons. That really alarmed me, guys, because Many of these people on the outside looking in, they have no idea what these people are conducting behind closed doors. They have no idea how these leaders of these groups became leaders of these groups. They don't know the demonic ritual that these people actually stayed around and participated in order to get to where they are. And they don't understand that in order to get to where these people are, they must do the same thing. And they're not aware of it because these people are not allowed to share the secret. When you do try and tell people that you are being targeted by these people, the only people that are going to believe you is another targeted individual. Because to people that have a blind eye to what these people do, they will never believe it. They would have to go through it themselves. Because when you go through these things, it takes the Most High to open your eyes. You're blinded by the witchcraft. You're blinded by the image. You're blinded by the actions of these people, what they show you. Them serving their communities, participating in food drives, showing support to local people, you know, in their communities, having fundraisers, things like that. And, you know, in their mind, they're thinking, how could these people that's doing such nice things for everyone, how could they be a part of something like this? That is the cover up. That is the cover up. That's just to keep you in the blind to what they're really doing. Have any of you guys ever actually seen a Masonic building? I've seen several. They are very dark, very, I don't know, it just seems like a cold, dark place on the outside looking in. The windows are always covered. They're always shut. Everything just seems so shut off and private in the public eye. They're on every corner, but they seem so private and secluded and dark, like they're hidden in public. And if you're not a member of these people, you would never see things for what they really are. They know what's going on, but you would never know unless you're a target and the Most High brought these things to your attention, or you're an actual member. So that's why I like to spread awareness, because it's very important. I'm not saying that Mr. Wise was a sacrifice. However, guys, you just can never tell. There's a lot of red flags in this story, a lot of suspicions. And like I said, this story is still ongoing. The trial is still ongoing. So I did look it up, guys. His next trial date is August 19th, 2025. I don't know if this is the final verdict or if it's just another trial date. But I'm very interested to see in how they handle this, because from what I think it is, in my eyes, guys, if they did perform mind control on Mr. Diaz, he's a target. And they used him due to the hatred that he already had towards the organization to do some dirty work for them. No one would ever believe that, you know? But these people orchestrate everything. Everything's planned out. And it's very demonic, guys. It is. I just had to bring this story to the forefront because I just see stories like this all the time. They later on get brushed under the rug. The person who committed the crime is always seen as being mentally ill, and it's just over. And then the next thing you know, it happens again and again and again. And when you really pay attention to these people, you can tell that they're not really that smart, because everything they do is systematic, and it's also a cycle. It's a pattern of how they do things. And they mainly base everything around mental health, because they play with people's minds secretly with direct energy weapons and with hypnosis and other forms of magic. And these are things that people can't see because they're doing it spiritually. So this is how they get away with it. But praying for wisdom and discernment from the Most High will most certainly pull the veil off and show people, you know, what these secret organizations are really up to. I pray for the strength for the Wise family. Condolences to the family. I pray that they get the justice that they deserve. And yeah, guys, we just got to stay prayed up, and we got to fight these people spiritually. And we got to stay prayed up and stay close to God for mental strength, because the enemy is attacking minds out here. He's attacking minds, and it's good to be forgiving. And, you know, forgiving someone is not allowing them to hurt you over and over again, but it's just to release, you know, any malice feelings that you may have towards that person. Because when you feel a certain way negatively about a person, it can conjure a demonic force. And that force will be used through your feelings for that person in order to do demonic things. So it's always good to, you know, release any negative feelings or energy that you may have towards someone. If they're not a good person, the best thing to do is just stay away. But feeling as if you need to take matters into your own hands and to physically harm and to just keep that negative energy, those negative thoughts about that person, you know, trapped in your spirit is never good. So just don't let people get you in a bad space, guys. Just always try to remain positive. And if a person is trying to pull you in a negative direction, just separate yourself as much as possible. All right. I love you guys so much. I hope that you guys like this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know how you feel about this video down in the comment section. I have more content coming your way. Continue to take care of yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. I love you guys so much. And until the next video, peace and blessings. Mwah.